And welcome into the studio here on WEGL 91.1 FM or online at WEGLFM.com. You're listening to The Extra Point. I'm your host, Jared Dill. Alongside me is the one, it's the only, it's Brooks Childers. Brooks, what's going on in the sports world today?
Lots of stuff. I don't know what you wanted out of that, but lots of stuff is going on.
I wanted something more concrete than that.
You know what's going on today?
What?
You know what is going on in the sports world today?
Tell me.
We got Champions League soccer this afternoon as Roma takes on Liverpool. It's going to be #lit.
Do you expect me to talk Liverpool Roma with you or something?
No, I just knew that was my only. You teed me up for my only chance to get a soccer reference, or to talk a little bit of soccer in on the show today.
Look,
so
here's
bam.
Here's the thing about soccer. We both know soccer, but you know more than I do, so you would carry the conversation. I can only chime in at certain parts.
That's true.
I don't know a thing about Roma.
I don't either. I just know, Liverpool's got Mo Salah, who is the greatest soccer player of all time.
Mo Salah, no problem?
That's actually not true. Mo Salah is the greatest soccer player in England this year.
Let's see, what else we got? NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, NBA draft coming up. In the Auburn side of things, Auburn baseball tonight against Samford, trying to get some retribution after the 12-3 throbbing they took a couple weeks ago.
I was about to say, this is kind of a revenge game tonight against our arch in-state rivals, the Samford Bulldogs.
That's our arch in-state rivals?
Well, I mean, I'm pushing it for a rivalry.
I mean, there wasn't much of a rivalry this past weekend, am I right?
You are right.
Auburn softball will be back in action in the weekend portion when they go to College Station and play the Aggies. And give a shout out to Auburn Equestrian, back-to-back national
They didn't win
champions.
the national championship last year.
Did they not?
No. They won it 2 years ago, didn't win it last year, won it this year.
No. I believe they won it last year.
They didn't.
No, look it up. There's a lot of things I'm incorrect about, but I believe, granted, there's like 11 teams in equestrian, like in the country, but I believe they won last year.
Hang on, 2017.
Yes, that was last year. This is a very awkward opening now.
Yeah.
Whatever. They're national champions this year. How about that? You keep looking for it, all right? And we're going to get into our first topic, which is, I got to bring up the list because you got me all confuzzled over here. The Braves have signed Jose Bautista to a minor league deal. This was last week. He's moving over to third base. There is a possibility we may see him soon on the Braves main roster, I would say, in the next either coming days or week, as he's soon being called up to, or has he been called up to AAA yet?
I think he just got moved to AAA.
He just got moved. Okay. So Jose Bautista, obviously,
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but Texas A&M won the 2017 NCEA National Championship last year.
So Texas A&M won last year, Auburn their year prior?
Yes, it was Auburn, A&M, Auburn again. Because Auburn won it my first semester up here.
We claim it anyway. 3 in a row. How about that? Anyway.
I don't think we could do that. I mean,
UCF did it.
UCF did it, but we actually lost.
Neither here nor there. Jose Bautista. Obviously, if you were around for baseball offseason, a lot of big names, or a lot of sizable names, didn't get signed. And there was I know there was a whole discussion about, during the offseason, like, players being gypped because these teams weren't signing them. Jose Bautista was one of the bigger names out there. I can't remember off the top of my head any other names that weren't signed. Somebody else got signed this week that escaping my mind, another big name who didn't get signed during the offseason, and they just got signed now.
Melky Cabrera.
It was Melky Cabrera.
Yeah, Melky Cabrera got signed to a minor league deal with the Indians yesterday.
Melky Cabrera is another one. A sizable name, a household name that didn't get signed because either their production wasn't up there, they were asking for too much, things like that. So it's nice to see Jose Bautista landing somewhere.
That's also, let me That's also back when Melky Cabrera, former Brave Melky Cabrera.
All right, calm down.
I've got to point out all the former Braves that have left us.
Oh, so we can literally fill a 3-hour show by doing that.
Yes, but it'd be very boring and very depressing for Braves fans.
What's new for them? All right, next, Reds. What?
I was going to comment on Jose Bautista.
What?
We've kind of gotten off to a rocky start here.
We really have.
I think it's a decent signing. I mean, you got him for the Braves. You got him on a minor league deal. If there's anything still left in his bat, which he was with the Blue Jays last year, he's been with the Blue Jays for a while. There were still inklings of power there, and so you sign him to a minor league deal. If there's nothing there, you don't lose that much money. If there is something there, you gain another bat in your lineup. But the problem being for the Braves is where are they going to play him when he comes up? Because he can't. I don't think he can roam the outfield anymore. He's a little up there in age. And
he's obviously not going to take first base from Adam Freeman.
Adam Freeman?
Oh my gosh, I am off. Look, the important thing is I caught it. Okay, I caught it. Okay, I am so sorry. I'm so sorry, everybody.
Adam Freeman.
Can we go ahead and take a break, actually? To be quite honest.
6 minutes in, I don't think that's allowed. I mean, I think we could do it because it's our show, but I don't think it'd be, work time-wise.
I don't know where I am right now.
Good. Do you want me to, just...
Take over. Take over.
Anyway, he's not going to take first from Freddie Freeman.
I was close. That was close.
That's not close. Freddie and Adam are not close. He's not going to take first from Freddie. The only place you could potentially see him position-wise is maybe third, but I don't think he's got the range to play third.
Well, that's why they're testing him out at third, right?
They are testing him out at third, but I'm not sure if he's going to have the range at this age to play third. You can always, you've got a limited number of, how many times you can call him up and send him down, but, when the Braves go on the road this year in interleague play, they can call him up and he can be a decent DH. And you don't have to sacrifice one of your position players to be DH or one of your bench players to be DH.
Who's playing third right now for the Braves?
It varies every night. Oh, it's Ryan Flaherty.
Flaherty?
Yes.
But he's been on fire recently.
Yeah, he's been decent the past few weeks. So it's going to be, the way he's producing in the bat-wise, it's going to be hard for the Braves to justify taking Flaherty out of the lineup and putting Jose Bautista in. I almost said Jose Bautista in.
We are not in prime time form right now.
Nope. It feels like a Monday, but it's Tuesday.
You want to move on from this topic?
Sure.
All right.
I've said about anything I want to say.
The Reds fired Brian Price after their 3-15 start. They recently had a run-in with my St. Louis Cardinals. The Cardinals have now won 11 in a row against the Reds. And it's not looking good for the faithful in Cincinnati.
They beat the Braves last night pretty handily.
What, did they?
Yeah, it was like 10 to 10-2, I think.
10-2?
10-4, never mind. 10-4. It wasn't that. It was bad.
10-4 over and out.
I don't know how I feel about that move. I know it's, fire him 3-15, but I've never been a fan of firing managers, coaches in the during a season. Well, because obviously, I don't think your interim manager is going to turn this thing around. There's some serious problems with the Reds team if they're started 3 or now 4 and whatever.
Part of me feels like management already wanted him out when the season started, and they used that as it's not a bad excuse. You're 3-15.
Yeah,
but they kind of used it as the tipping point of getting him out of there. Yeah. I don't know how long he's been there, to be quite honest.
I don't think it's been that long.
But then again, you come back to the fact that Major League Baseball season is 162 games. You get 18 in, you're like, this guy's not going to work for you. Well, it's 100. Anything can happen in a 10-game span. He could easily turn it around. I say easily. He could have turned it around.
He had been there since 2014, so this would have been his 4th year. Right? 2014.
All right, so...
this would have been his 5th year.
Okay, so he was there for a sizable portion of time.
Yeah, he was 279 and 387. So, if you want him out, after, that's not the best of records after 4 years. I would have fired him in the offseason and went after, one of the managerial candidates who was in the offseason, so that way you build, the new manager can get into spring training and know your players instead of having to go through spring training. If it's like you said, and the Reds Reds organization already felt that they wanted to get rid of him, and you make it so that a new manager can come in and take over, get to know the players, and then go into the season, other than have Price manage through, take them through spring training and then into the start of the year, and then fire him so that the assistant / interim who takes over for him has to go the rest of the year.
Well, either way you want to look at it, the Reds are in a hole right now. Up next, Chris Bryant was hitting the head with a pitch against, trying to recall these teams now. Not sure which game it was.
I think it was it the Rockies this weekend?
It was a pretty scary. It's been a pretty scary week for baseball in general. Last week there's a lot of fights, and this week Chris Bryant got hit in the head, and a Chicago White Sox player collapsed in the dugout, in the bullpen.
It was the Rockies that Chris Bryant got hit in the head.
It's just been kind of a
luckily
tense.
Chris Bryant's doing, from what I saw, I read a report today, he's doing fine, or he's progressing well, and so he should be back relatively soon, if not, sooner than expected. And Chris Bryant hasn't really been like the X factor in the Cubs lineup this year that he has been the past few years.
Well, the Cubs also been struggling this year.
So I don't think they're going to miss him that much while he recovers from this. And they can, obviously it's early in the year. They can take their time with him. And then, like you said, the scary situation, was it Friday night that Farquhar went down?
It was going into the weekend.
We were out at the Braves game when we got the notification, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so it was Friday night.
Oh, that's the Braves game. We didn't talk about our experience.
Yeah. I mean, let me finish my thought here, and then we got time to, talk about that while we're in baseball.
We'll probably go to a break before we get to that.
Okay. That's perfectly fine. But anyway, Danny Farquhar, I mean, I saw an article today, he's also progressing well.
He's progressing well.
Surgery.
However, he's still in critical condition. So it's going well, but
yeah, hopefully he gets better.
Yeah,
it just depends. I don't know if he'll be able to play baseball again, but as long as he gets well and gets better, that's all that matters.
Exactly. And last but not least, the hottest team in baseball right now. I always have to go to the Red Sox, right?
Red Sox.
I mean, although they got shut out. Or
they got a no-hitter thrown against them.
No-hitter shutout.
Was that Saturday night, correct?
And it was the Athletics, correct?
It was. It was the A's. What was the pitcher's name?
Sean Mania?
Yeah. I saw an interview with him the day after, and he said going into the 8th inning, he didn't know it was a no-hitter. He thought, they had a hit or something. And then he got to, the 8th inning, and he looked up at the scoreboard. He's like, wow, I actually have a no-hitter going. That's got me
a no-no.
That's got to freak you out as a pitcher. You think you're all right, I don't have to worry about a no-hitter. And then you look at the scoreboard and late in the game, you're like, oh no, I've got a no-hitter going. And then the adrenaline starts pumping and you're like, I've got to finish this.
I got to finish this out. And against the best team in baseball, no less.
Yeah. Red Sox are really good. Who knows how long this winning streak, this streak of success can go. Obviously the Astros are doing well, faring well. Did you see what Justin Verlander did this weekend?
No.
There were some guys that were heckling him behind the dugout, and I think he wrote "You guys stink" or something on a piece of paper and held it up over the dugout, where you couldn't see him, but you could see the piece of paper held up over the dugout, focused at them. He's just Justin Verlander's.
He's just having fun now.
Yeah, they're having fun. And then,
you want to know a surprise team in baseball right now?
Who's that?
It has to be the New York Mets.
Yeah,
we made fun of them, but they're doing pretty well right now.
I mean, I think this is what is to be expected from the Mets when their pitching is healthy.
Yeah,
I think because they've got bats in their lineup, but it's just you have to have their bats backed up by pitching. And when Syndergaard, when DeGrom, when they're healthy, and they're pitching top notch like they have been, it really helps that Mets lineup come together and be a dominant force. This is what I think they've been looking for in the past few years, but their pitching just hasn't been able to stay healthy. And if it can stay healthy this year, I think the success continues.
We'll get back to baseball when we come back from our break. We'll talk about our trip to Atlanta to watch the Braves play the Mets. See, they're going to see a transition. And also, when we come back from break, we'll talk NFL, Lamar Jackson, the Giants, draft preview, all that and more on the Extra Point. You want to call in and talk sports with us, you can call in at 334-844-9345. That's 334-844-9345. You're listening to the Extra Point here on WEGL 91.1 FM or online at WEGLFM.com.
If you don't fix them, sparks from dragging tow chains could cause a wildfire, and that could be scary. Hi, Smokey. Only you can prevent wildfires.
See on page 4 that the projections need to be tornado next Thursday.
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day. I have no time for this. So.
I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
And welcome back into the Extra Point here on WEGL 91.1 FM or online at WEGLFM.com. If you'd like to call in and talk to us about anything in the sports world, you can call in at 334-844-9345. That's 334-844-9345 to call into the Extra Point. Brooks, when we left, we were going to talk about our Atlanta Braves trip that we took last Friday to go watch the Braves play the Mets over at SunTrust. First time I've been to the stadium. Second time you've been to that stadium?
On Friday it was the third time.
Okay, because you went Wednesday.
Yeah, I went Wednesday and I went Friday. I'm just living it up, man. I enjoy being. That's one of the things that the little things that you don't think about when you come to Auburn. Like when you come to Auburn to go to school or live, you're like, it's a great town. It's a great university. Everyone's really friendly. One of the little things you don't realize is how close Atlanta is. So, it's not a big deal to be like, hey, you want to go to a Braves game tonight? Sure, it's an hour and a half north of here. Let's just drive to the Braves game. Plus, the tickets are really cheap.
We were not paid by Auburn University or Atlanta for that promo.
Although, if they want to pay me, they can.
Under the table, of course.
Oh, they can do it above the table.
Anyway.
I'll pay the taxes.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah. I'll pay the taxes on it. Unless it's a lot, then I'll be like, then slide it under the table. If they want to give me a good chunk of money, I will. I'm sorry, U.S. government. I know you're listening. I will pay every single tax I owe.
Let's talk about the Atlanta Braves trip. All right, so we drive up there. The traffic wasn't too bad. The parking situation at SunTrust isn't horrible.
No.
We had a worse time parking at Georgia Tech than we did the Braves game.
I mean, you're obviously going to have a lot of trouble parking on any sort of college campus. We have trouble parking here, and we have parking permits.
That's true.
But, I mean, yeah, SunTrust, going there last year, the 3 times I've been, the parking situation is really not bad. I mean, it's a little, some places are a little pricey. I don't know how often I would want to. That's the only downside if you do if you're living near Atlanta and you're like, I want to go to the Braves game. That's the downside to it, is paying for parking, because you pay sometimes. Wednesday night, I paid more for parking than I did my ticket. Wednesday night's ticket, I think it was like $10. I paid $20 to park.
I mean, you also did sit in the nosebleeds.
That's true, but I mean, we moved down because it's a Wednesday game and no one shows up to those. But the parking situation, like SunTrust, they've got the parking figured out. It's not like massive parking lots around it, but it's like decently sized parking lots, about the size of the Coliseum lot, just scattered around. And you've got like the local businesses. Like we parked at some place called like Atrium or somewhere that
something like that.
Like they opened up their parking area and parking deck to pay, and we paid like what $15-20 to park there, and it was like a 10-minute walk to the stadium, and it was decent. It was a well lit road. But that's one of the when they opened that ballpark last year, that was one of the big things like people talked about. It's like the convenience of parking and like how to get there, because all the sidewalks lead right there. You got the pedestrian bridge that leads over like major intersection there.
Yeah, the one we crossed over.
So it's just, I want to know what you thought about, like, obviously we're not here to talk about park. This isn't, the extra parking.
No, it's all about parking.
This isn't the extra parking spot. I want to know, since this was your first time at SunTrust, how do you compare it? Because you went to Turner Field.
I did. I went to Turner the final year.
I didn't get that luxury because y'all decided to go on A-Day weekend. I couldn't leave town for A-Day weekend. But
I'm sorry.
I want to know,
your people needed you.
My people needed me. I want to know what your impressions were on SunTrust as it compares to Turner Field.
It blew Turner out the water.
That's what a lot of people say.
But here's the difference. I didn't have the memories of Turner Field like other people did.
Yeah.
So I wasn't attached to Turner Field. I mean, Turner was only around for 25, 30 years.
Yeah, 20. No, it was like they opened it in.
Well, they opened it in time for the Summer Olympics.
What year was the Summer Olympics? Was that 90?
98?
It was 19. I'll look.
90. Were the Braves in Turner the year they won the World Series?
95. No, because they didn't open the stadium until 96. And they used it. They didn't convert the stadium to baseball until after the Olympics, because it was the Turner Field was the Olympic stadium / the track.
I think the final year was his 25th anniversary.
I think so.
I believe. Because I have a magnet on the refrigerator.
No, because if it opened in 97, the first year SunTrust opened was 2017. So
nobody knows anymore. The point is, I didn't have the memories of Turner, so I wasn't attached to it like other people were.
I mean, I'd only been there once, and it wasn't a good memory because the Braves got shellacked by the Blue Jays when I went.
Well, that happens a lot.
That's true. But, I didn't, the one time I went, it was not the greatest of time. But I only being once, I was attached to it just because I've not grown up a Braves fan, but I've been a Braves fan for my whole baseball-loving career. And so, listening to the games and watching the games on TV at Turner Field, and the magic, the quote-unquote magic of Turner Field, as they used to call it, was, ingrained into me. So it's, bittersweet to drive by it on the interstate, and, that's just a football stadium now.
Don't you mean at Georgia State Stadium?
Yeah. Panther
Stadium, whatever they call it.
I don't know what they call it. But, yeah.
At least it's still there.
Yeah. But, I was attached to it, and I only been there once.
SunTrust is such a better park. Not because,
yes, it's a better park, obviously.
It's because SunTrust, it's what's around SunTrust that made it better.
Like the Battery?
The Battery, yeah. There's all the stores and the eventual movie theater and stuff like that.
Because
it's a downtown commerce section. It's like if Jordan-Hare Stadium had a bunch of shops around it.
I was about to say, they made it so that people could enjoy that area without having to go to a baseball game.
Yes. And I assume that area is going to stay open when baseball's not in season.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, all those shops, all the restaurants will be open.
Now, I don't know about the ones inside the stadium, but outside the stadium, yes.
Yeah, because, you don't have to, when we went there, we kind of went to the start of the Battery. We didn't go, venture down it, but, you didn't have to have a ticket or anything to get into, the start, between the stadium and the Battery.
Yeah.
And you could just walk down. So I think that's going to be open, year-round.
So that's good. and it's something Turner Field didn't have. So
Yeah, and Turner Field.
I like that very much because the whole discussion that we're not even going to try to touch is how the taxpayers in the city have to pay the taxes to build these new stadiums.
Yeah,
and why are not the teams paying for this? Then I like the idea of not only it being a stadium, but it being a downtown commerce section,
and it's
with shops and stuff,
and it's outside the city of Atlanta.
Yeah,
so it's up in Cobb County, up in I believe Smyrna, Georgia. So it's not in Atlanta.
The Smyrna Braves.
Yeah. But yeah, it's away from the city. It's people don't have you still have to fight traffic to get out there, obviously, but it's not like going to Turner Field where first of all you're fighting baseball traffic plus you're fighting downtown Atlanta traffic.
When's our next excursion to a sporting event, Brooks?
I don't know. We'll have to figure that out.
We've been to a Duke Georgia Tech game. We've been to a Braves Mets game. We've been to basketball. We've been to baseball.
We've done other things. We went to LSU.
We went to LSU. That was depressing,
but fun.
So we've been to basketball. So we haven't been to hockey. You want to go to Nashville?
Road trip to Nashville. You know what we should do? You know what we should do?
Nashville. What?
This summer, we should go to Charlotte. Because Liverpool's playing Dortmund in the International Champions Cup. You see,
and how much are those tickets?
I don't know. They haven't gone on sale yet. They go on sale next week.
I'm scared.
It's fine. Be $60.
That's not bad.
Actually, I did look up tickets to the game in I think it's Liverpool versus Man United in Ann Arbor, and the cheapest ticket there is $60.
Isn't there a soccer game going on in Florida this summer?
Yeah, there's a few that's going to be in Miami.
Isn't it Man U in Florida? I'll go to Man U game. That's my team.
I don't know if they're
squad.
But there's several games that are going to be in Miami. I think the two closest games to us.
I think it's Man U Barcelona, is it not?
I think so.
And I think they are in Miami because I think we were looking at it last week, and for some reason the Dolphins posted about it on their Miami Dolphins website.
True, I do remember that. But I think the two closest games to us is the Charlotte Liverpool versus Dortmund, which I'd love to see that, and our friend Joshua Jackson would love to go see that because it's Liverpool. And then the other one is Juventus playing the MLS All-Stars in Atlanta.
We're gonna take a quick commercial break. We have a caller on the line. We're gonna come back quick. We're gonna come back in 1 minute.
All right.
And we gotta take a quick commercial break so we can get out of here. Coming up, we'll have the NBA recapping the playoffs right now. Budenholzer, Popovich still out. Bucks, Celtics, Giannis can't get a table at a restaurant. All that kind of stuff. All that and more here on the Extra Point here on WEGL 91.1 FM or online at WEGLFM.com.
Give him a seat.
Fans, direct your attention to the flagpole for a special presentation.
You never really leave Auburn, because Auburn never leaves you.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
I hope that you've been able to learn a strong work ethic surrounded by character, integrity, perseverance, so that when your 1 second comes, you'll be prepared for it.
Chris Davis.
45, there goes Davis!
Your 1 second, our 1 second is now. And our lives have been guided by the principles of one of the greatest academic institutions in the country, Auburn University.
And welcome back into the Extra Point here on WEGL 91.1 FM or online at WEGLFM.com. As always, if you want to call and talk sports, you can call in at 334-844-9345. That's 334-844-9345. Speaking of calling in, Chris from Auburn's on the line. Chris, how you doing today?
I'm doing well, guys. How about you?
Oh, well, I can't complain.
Happy Tuesday to y'all. Well, listen, right before that break, I think we were talking a little bit of soccer, and I could talk soccer for a little bit, all right? Well, today...
You could talk some soccer?
Today, the Champions League gets underway here in about 15 minutes. Are y'all ready for the Liverpool-Roma game?
Yeah.
We are. Sure.
Do you guys want Liverpool or Roma to win?
Well, I'm always an underdog type of guy, so I guess let's go Roma.
Are you for real, Jared?
Yeah? That's like question mark?
Well, I really want a good game, but I'd like a clinical display from Mo Salah. That would be very, very pleasing to me.
How good has he been? I mean, goodness gracious, setting the record for goals your first year. You're the Premier League Player of the Year. And, I mean, now he gets to play against his former team. And for the finals of the Champions in the world.
Chris, I don't know where you're at, but you're breaking up a little bit on us.
You got me?
I got you.
Well, I got a question for you.
All right.
Who's the best footballer in the world?
Oh, I assume we're still talking soccer right now.
Yeah, we are still talking soccer.
Okay.
The best footballer?
As all of our English fans, erupt into, chaos because we call it soccer.
So who's the best soccer player in the world?
Jared, do you want to answer this? You want me to go first?
I don't even know if I want to touch this.
I'm going to touch it.
Touch it first. I want to see if we're thinking the same person.
Well, obviously, I've got to be biased toward who I've always thought is the best, and I think that's Lionel Messi.
Okay. I was going to say Ronaldo.
Oh, no. The division.
I mean, this is the age-old discussion. Is it Messi or is it Ronaldo?
Well, see...
And clearly you two are torn.
You see, Ronaldo, you have a very good case for Ronaldo. He's, very athletic. He can, compete with anybody. He can beat anybody on his own. I don't think he has the technical skills that Messi does. Because Messi, if you watch him play, he can dance around the defense. He can, make these incredibly tight passes. He's a great finisher. Ronaldo is kind of the big, he's big. When you see him on the pitch, he's really big, and he can bully his way around and get into better position to finish. And he does have, he's very light on his feet and can, make, really good spins and really good technical work, but he's not as technically gifted, in my opinion, as Lionel Messi. And I think that is the X factor that makes Messi one step above Ronaldo.
Can I change my answer?
Change it.
Zlatan.
Oh.
That was funny, Jared. I'll give that to you, man. He's been something for the Galaxy and coming over here to the U.S. But guys, listen.
He's going to be a big reason why MLS gets big in the next 10 years when all these older players start coming over to the MLS.
Sure. Let's get Salah over here, and let's get Messi, and let's get Ronaldo, and just have a good old time.
We'll get Ronaldo when he's 50. All right, that's the deal.
Well, guys, listen, the NBA playoffs, I know that's what y'all want to go talk about. They have just been spectacular. So many, fights, and now the NBA is thinking about possibly suspending Russell Westbrook for Game 5.
Yeah, we saw that.
The bench. That would be insane. That would be wild. I am just looking forward to the rest of the NBA playoffs, but I saw on Twitter, I hate that the show's coming to a close because y'all are graduating or something, and congrats on that, and I really have enjoyed talking with y'all all semester long, and be sure to stay in touch, all right?
Well, thank you, Chris.
Thanks, Chris. I'm going to grad school. So
I'm gonna be here another semester. I don't know where. Breaking news: the Extra Point's coming back next fall. If anybody cared,
Unless me and
to
Brooks
be determined.
Unless me and Brooks end up hating each other over the summer.
I already do. I've held it in for too long, Jared. It's time for a vent session.
This is when the 2-point conversion is born.
Yes, this is where the 2-point conversion is born.
Well, let's get to the NBA. Let's get to the NBA for whatever time that we have left. Obviously, sad to say that Greg Popovich will still be out for the Spurs game against the Golden State Warriors after his wife passed away. The Spurs were able to avoid the sweep, so whatever comfort that brings, that this team's fighting, it brings. However, the Spurs are still down 3-1 to Golden State, and I don't like their chances of coming back.
No, I mean something like this can happens, and sometimes the team rallies around and all right, we're gonna rally, we're gonna win it for Coach, and they won a game for Coach. But I just it's the Warriors are too much for the Spurs right now.
If the Spurs were able to pull off this historic comeback, it would be turned into an ESPN 30 for 30.
Oh, for sure.
No doubt.
Because, I mean, this would be greater than the 3-1 comeback the Cavs did, because they were down 3-0.
Yeah, they were down 3-0, and they are the 7 seed. I guess a 2 seed.
Yeah.
So and they're doing it without Kawhi Leonard, which that's a whole other story. This is why this ESPN 30 for 30 would be great. What would be the name of it?
I don't know. It'd have to be something with Spurs in it.
I was going to go off Kawhi.
Oh.
I don't know.
Bridge over the River Kawhi?
I'm done. Budenholzer, no go on the Suns job. I mean, nobody blames him.
I mean, like I said last week.
That being said, if he has one more bad year with Atlanta, he's done.
I'm about to say, it's Atlanta. As I said last week, that wouldn't have been the worst move for him, seeing that Atlanta's in full-on rebuild mode, and so they may be getting close to the time where they're like, okay, we're in full rebuild mode. That means we need to rebuild our coaching staff as well and get rid of Budenholzer. Wow, messed that name up.
Good job.
And if he had gone with the Suns, he would have at least been given, at least 2 years to work, maybe 3, and giving him time, give him a little bit more, because after this season, maybe even the middle of this season, upcoming season, the Hawks could be like, you know what, this isn't working, see you later. But I've seen reports where he is interested in the Nets job, I think.
The Nets?
Yeah.
Poor man.
So, I mean, that's another job that would give him 2 or 3 years left when he may not have that in Atlanta. So, I think the right move for him is to, find somewhere to go, but it's not necessarily needed. It's a big yawn.
I'm getting tired. I am really trying to wake up, especially when we have Auburn baseball tonight. They take on Samford. Bucks Celtics now tied at 2. Obviously, the Celtics without Kyrie, and the Bucks have a Greek freak.
Have a Greek freak?
I hope they don't have 2, because that's even worse. The Bucks have made their way back into the series, and the Celtics, if this is a boxing match, the Celtics are on the rope right now. The Bucks got a little shot in. The Celtics got stunned. They're on the ropes right now. All right, they got to bounce back. They got to get out the ropes.
I think this is really the best series right now in the playoffs, because the Sixers are about to end the Heat. The Warriors are about to end the Spurs. Pelicans already took care of the Trailblazers.
I still think this is the best series, competitive wise.
Yeah.
The most interesting series is still Indiana Cleveland.
That's true. I think LeBron's is going to end up winning that, though, because it's playoff LeBron, and who's going to put the team on his back and be like, all right, I'm going to carry out at least the second round.
I'm going to carry not only all these suits, but this team on my back.
Yes. And so I think playoff LeBron is starting to come out, and he's going to finish off the Pacers. It may go 7, but I think LeBron ends up winning that one. You notice I don't say the Cavs. I say LeBron is going to win it, because that's it. Like, he's got no help there. And so, like, I don't know who wins this Bucks-Celtics series, because the Celtics, you know, coming into the playoffs, everyone looked at them, and you're like, they're not going to go far because, not Kawhi, Kyrie's out. They lost Gordon Hayward early. They don't, you know, it's all young guys. And isn't it Marcus Smart's out? No, that's on the Bucks team. But Marcus Smart is, who's out for the Bucks?
I don't know.
Oh, good.
I didn't know. Anyway. I didn't know anybody was out.
Anyway,
anybody important that is.
There's someone that's out for the Bucks. I don't know.
I mean, is Eric Bledsoe's on the Bucks now, isn't he?
I think so.
I don't think he's out.
I don't think
Giannis isn't out. Ricky Rubio's not out.
Anyway,
Brogdon.
It may be. I don't know. That's why I was like asking you.
Look, it's hard. It's hard to pay attention to all these sports. I'm telling you right now.
Anyway,
our job's not easy.
No, it's not. Anyway, Celtics are a very young group without Kyrie, and everyone's like, oh, how can they, you know, compete in the playoffs now? They're, you know, next year they'll be fine when they get Gordon Hayward and Kyrie back. They'll be dominant again. But they've really surprised everyone by being this competitive in, especially this one, in this series. And then on the other side, you got Giannis, who's been inconsistent in the playoffs, but he's kind of coming into form, and the Bucks have a decent squad around him that have been able to keep up with the Celtics and play good basketball, and all the games have been close. And so I can very well see this game going to 7, and I don't know who. It's a coin flip of who wins this series.
The most surprising series, obviously, is New Orleans-Portland, with New Orleans with the sweep. That being said,
Anthony Davis finally came alive in the playoffs.
That being said, I want to give a shout out to the Utah Jazz, because all season they've been fighting for a playoff spot, and they've beaten the Warriors, they've beaten the Rockets, they've beaten all these good teams, and the Jazz were a sneaky good low seed coming to the playoffs, and they are now up 3-1 on the Thunder.
You know what?
And let me tell you something. Carmelo Anthony has one foot out the door already.
So does Paul George.
That team's about to fall apart already.
Let me tell you something. Donovan Mitchell is really good.
Very good.
He's really good.
He's Rookie of the Year.
He should be.
Look, no, I love the Sixers. I love Ben Simmons, but Donovan Mitchell's Rookie of the Year. Hands down.
I think that if, saw the report, Chris mentioned it a little bit ago, but we saw the report before we came on the air that the NBA could suspend Russell Westbrook for the Game 5.
Yeah.
I think if they suspend Russell Westbrook, Thunder win that game.
Really?
Yes. Because Russell Westbrook is not, Russell Westbrook, I think, is a big problem with the Thunder. You look at, I talked about this 2 weeks ago, and it was when I went solo. If you look.
Okay, so I didn't listen to the show. Okay.
Yeah. When you look at this roster, you've got Carmelo, Paul George, and Russell Westbrook. That's an all-star roster. Plus, you've got Steven Adams, and who's their fifth man? Someone.
Somebody else.
But that's a good roster. They should not be, they should be in title contention.
They should be.
And like I said a few weeks ago, if this could go down as the greatest roster not to win anything. Because if Westbrook plays, I think Jazz win it. I think Westbrook's the problem with OKC.
That's a big statement.
I think he's the problem. People, if you look, KD played with, we'll go farther back. James Harden played with Westbrook in OKC.
But James Harden wasn't James Harden that we know.
True, but when he left, he became the James Harden we know.
Yes, the beard.
KD was in OKC.
They did get to a finals.
They did get to a finals, but he didn't win a championship until he left Russell Westbrook. Victor Oladipo was not great last year. Goes to Indiana. Now he's one of their X factors.
So you're saying Russell Westbrook is holding these guys back?
The common denominator is Russell Westbrook.
That's an interesting concept. I like it.
And if you had this, if on 2K, if you had Russell Westbrook, Paul George, and Carmelo Anthony on your team,
I have nobody else.
You're winning championships.
My salary's gone.
You're winning championships, though, right?
Yeah.
And theoretically, these three together should win a championship. But there's a common denominator there. It's Russell Westbrook.
We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll quickly run through the NFL. If you want to call in, you call it 334-844-9345. That's 334-844-9345. You're listening to The Extra Point here on WEGL 91.1 FM. More online at WEGLFM.com.
I believe this is a practical world and that I can count only on what I earn. Therefore, I believe in work, hard work.
I believe in education, which gives me the knowledge to work wisely and trains my mind and my hands to work skillfully.
I believe in honesty and truthfulness, without which I cannot win the respect and confidence of my fellow men.
I believe in a sound mind, in a sound body, in a spirit that is not afraid, and in a clean sport that develops these qualities.
I believe in obedience to the law because it protects the rights of all. I believe in human touch, which cultivates sympathy with my fellow men and mutual helpfulness and brings happiness for all.
I believe in my country because it is a land of freedom and because it is my home, and that I can best serve that country by doing justly, loving mercy, and walking humbly with my God.
And because Auburn men and women believe in these things, I believe in Auburn and love it.
I haven't used that intro all year.
It's very fitting, though.
And I wanted to hit it.
It was a button that we hadn't hit all year. We wanted to hit it.
That's usually how things work back here. Welcome back into the Extra Point here on WEGL 91.1 FM or online at WEGLFM.com. I feel so blessed right now with this song going on.
Blessings on blessings.
Blessings on blessings. If you want to call and talk sports, you can call at 334-844-9345. You can call
your last chance.
Yeah, it's your last chance. Until whatever happens, the summer, the fall, I don't know when we'll be back.
I mean, this could very well possibly be the last chance you ever get to call into the Extra Point.
It possibly could be.
On Weagle.
Or we're back for either softball or Auburn baseball regionals.
Sure.
I'm just saying, it could be a possibility.
Could be. And it could, or it could be podcast only, so you don't get any chance to.
We could be live. Look, we got to talk to management, okay? We got to talk to the big guy upstairs.
We got to talk to the man.
Got to talk to the man. All right?
Fight the power.
Fight the power. Anyway. See, the video people they're gonna love that. By the way, you can catch it on video on Eagle Eye TV Channel 6 or EagleEyeAuburn.com or Eagle Eye TV's YouTube page. You can catch the video version of us or the audio version of us on SoundCloud or on iTunes at WEGL 91.1 FM.
We're everywhere.
We're everywhere. And we said in 2020 we're going to take the White House.
I don't think we'll be old enough.
That won't stop me.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Laws will, but
let's talk the NFL, all right? First thing I want to talk about, Brandon Marshall. All right, we got 4 minutes, so we got to go fast. Brandon Marshall cut by the Giants. It's funny because the day prior, he was talking about Des Bryant on Twitter, and he said, there's no place for you in New York. Bam, gone.
But to counter that, the Giants have also said we have no interest in Des Bryant within the past week.
So there was no room for both of them.
Nope, not like that.
And Des Bryant still hasn't been signed yet. Well,
no,
I found that impressive.
Which that's a shot at Des Bryant. Is the Giants have an opening for a good wide receiver that they got rid of Brandon Marshall. They have an opening at wide receiver, and they're like, no, we don't want Des Bryant.
He's not going to get signed until after the draft anyway. At this point, because teams are going to want to fill their roster first, and then see where they're standing at. But he'll definitely end up on a roster. Dwight Freeney is going to sign with the Colts and then retire.
How does that make you feel?
As a Colts fan?
As our resident Colts connoisseur.
I mean, he should retire a Colt. That's where he was great at. Dwight Freeney, Robert Mathis duo, that was scary, man. And
I remember those days. I remember Dwight Freeney days. They scared me as a Patriots fan.
And then he wasn't the same when he left, but, that's okay. Not, everybody isn't fit to stay in one place like quarterbacks are. Like Tom Brady will eventually. Tom Brady's not going to go anywhere else.
Here's hoping.
Other things Tom Brady expected to play. It's not that he's been mum on it because you assume he's coming back and he probably feels like he doesn't have to say anything about I'm playing next year. But I guess when you're that old, people are going to ask, are you playing next year?
There's also the friction in the Patriots organization right now between Brady and Gronk and Belichick And so no one knows exactly, because neither of them are going to the workouts right now.
Yeah.
And Gronk went to, but the thing about it is Gronk went to a motorcycle rally in Gillette Stadium this week.
I mean, wouldn't you?
But like, yes, but it was like, that was kind of a statement where he said, oh yeah, I'll come to the same stadium that we're doing workouts in, just not for workouts.
Did you see that the horse named Gronkowski after him will not be in the Kentucky Derby?
What?
Yeah, the horse got an infection.
Oh no!
So Gronk will not be at the Kentucky Derby. But Gronk might be at the Kentucky Derby.
Actual Gronk even bought a stake in the horse too.
Yeah,
like bought part of the horse.
So Gronk won't be running in the Kentucky Derby, but Gronk could be at the Kentucky Derby.
He could run in it. I think we could, put a jockey on him and get the same result.
It's Belichick. What else? Schedule release. Eagles and Falcons open up the season.
That's going to be a good game.
It'll be a great game.
Because did you see where Julio Jones deleted all of his Falcons pictures off? I don't know what's going on.
Could it be possible that Julio Jones and Des Bryant are on the market at the same time?
What if...
And I would say Brandon Marshall, but he's a shell of former self.
Or I don't know why they would do this. It could be
Atlanta. They won't release him, but I'm just saying.
Atlanta may be looking to move up in the draft
and trade Julio.
Yeah,
that would be a nice piece to get.
But I don't think there's anyone that you could theoretically see. They don't need anyone to replace. I don't see they need anyone that's at the top of that list.
Minka, you can always use a good DB.
I don't know if I would give up Julio for that though, because that's your.
If he's not going to stick around, you might as well. It's like Gronk. If Gronk doesn't want to come back to New England, he's going to leave. You might as well get something out of him.
It's true. Is Julio in his last year of his contract this year?
I do not know the specifics of his contract. No. I think he's close. I think he is close, and that's why all this is happening right now.
Let's take a look.
He may be in his second to last year, I believe.
He is signed through 2020.
All right, so he's in his third.
Yeah, he's signed through 2020
3 years away.
Because 2021 he can become an unrestricted free agent.
Is his 2020 a player option? Or you clicked out of it? I don't know.
No, it's not.
Okay, so he signed through 2020. So he has 3 years.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know why they would trade anyone now.
I don't know.
That's just a theory.
You can free up cap space too. I mean, you could theoretically go get Des Bryant and hope he works out.
I would much rather have Julio than Des Bryant right at this point in their careers.
Oh man, and the NFL draft is coming up as well.
Did you see where Cleveland's seriously considering Baker Mayfield for the number 1 pick?
I did see that.
That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous.
Draft time is so fun.
That would be exactly the same thing as if they had Johnny Manziel. They got Johnny Manziel.
They didn't learn.
And then they're like, oh, hey, let's get Baker Mayfield. He's the exact same as Johnny Manziel.
It's like that episode of SpongeBob where it's that meme where it's like, how many times we got to teach you this, old man? And it's just the Browns what are we doing wrong?
If you're the Browns, you have Sam Darnold and Josh Rosen right there. You've got the number 1 pick. You could take either of them. And you're like, no, we'll go Baker Mayfield, maybe.
And you know why that's a thing? It's because of what happened with Deshaun Watson, who arguably may have been the best quarterback to come out the draft last year. And I guess Baker Mayfield is the closest representation of what Deshaun Watson is. And the Browns want that spark. And they think Baker Mayfield can do it.
I think Baker Mayfield's too small to play in a cold weather stadium, cold weather environment. Especially in a division like the NFC North, or the AFC North, whatever division they're in.
The AFC North.
Against, Steelers and the Bengals and the Ravens. Those are always tough.
Oh, man. That's going to do it for the show. Not for today, but for the foreseeable future.
I'm going to miss you, Jared.
We're not going anywhere.
That's true. I'll see you a lot of.
I'll see you tomorrow when we go to Atlanta.
True.
That's for another different reason, though.
Yeah. Not a baseball game.
Not a baseball game. Not even close. But thank you guys for listening today and the whole semester. As always, if you want to catch up on any show this year, you can go back on our SoundCloud page our iTunes. We have all of our shows. We have our bowl predictions. We have the Sweet 16 stuff.
If you care to go back and see how wrong we were about bowl games.
Yeah, if you just want to yell at us, write us a letter saying we suck and we need to stop doing our job. You want to catch it on video format, all those stuff are on there too.
Don't actually do that because I will cry.
Yeah, Brooks already has emotional issues.
I'm just so sad.
I know, Brooks. It's all right, though. But as always, if you want to catch up with us, you can go to any of those sites. I'm sure we'll be back soon at some point. But
maybe.
Thank you guys for listening. And I guess that's it.
I just want to say one more thing before we go.
Go for it.
If this is, in fact, our last show, I've enjoyed doing the show with you, Jared. Also, row the boat.
Row the boat. You got to row that boat. Row it to success. And if you keep rowing, eventually, you'll make it to the extra point next semester because that's where we'll end up. Thank you guys for listening. And so long.